is sex before marriage okay? Now sit still, don't go anywhere, because I've got a lot of things to teach you and tips to give you regarding whether it's okay to have sex before marriage or not. But then now, before we dive straight into it, remember my name is Israel again, and if you're new to this channel, I would advise you to subscribe there at the bottom in order to receive a message. Touch the bell button to get a notification whenever I upload something awesome on YouTube just for you. But then now the question still stands: is it okay? Is it okay to have sex before marriage, or is it not? Now, I usually advise and I suggest that depending this depends on your background, on your upbringings, and on your religion. So if you're a religious person, then I won't teach you any otherwise from your parents. But then now, if you're a person who is a spirit free, a person who's free spirited, then so basically it depends. It doesn't have, I won't say it's got restrictions, but now depending on your background, depending on your upbringing, depending on how you are raised, every family has got its own fundamentals and rules and things of how they really have to live their personal life regarding sex and relationships. But then now, depending on how the morals were passed on from grandchildren, from great grandfathers down to the God, so it depends on every family has got its own morals. But then now, if we go back and talk about the personal, you personally, how do you feel? How do you feel? Because it usually still takes you back to what are you comfortable with. I usually advise people to live a free spirit, be free and be yourself, be who you want to be. And I personally avoid living my life in a box, having rules, but simply because I've been there, done that. I've lived a life of a box, a life where I was in a box and I was tied up in a box. So I would suggest that you be free, be yourself, to live the kind of life that you really feel that you want. But then now, still it takes us back to morals. What kind of morals are you want to live accordingly? The morals you need to if you want to be respected in the community, in the society, it's very advisable and it's very important that you have self-respect. Self-respect. If you do not self-respect yourself, then nobody will respect you. Nobody will respect you. But then now, we've seen several relationships and several marriages that have ended up in a calamity whereby they are stuck. They are stuck in marriages, depending on for what reason were they caused to get married. But then now, several things usually could be the cause, should be caused from peer pressure from the family, peer pressure from the friends, peer pressure from workplaces, promotion. Maybe you need a promotion, you would want to be a CEO, but then you can never be. In order to be in that position, in order to be respected as a shareholder, as a CEO, you have to have a wife, you have to have a husband, you need to have a structure, you need to have a home structure. So many things force people to enter into marriages. But then now the question still stands and remains: is it good to have sex? Is it good to have sex before marriage? Is it okay to have sex before marriage? But then now, usually, I've seen several people who have ended up into marriages that they never actually, they maybe arranged relationships and all that kind of stuff. You find that the person is not the person who you wanted to spend their life with. You find that the person, maybe the penis is tiny, and maybe the vagina is, maybe she's not a virgin and she lied to you she was a virgin. So such are the things that you need first to, test the waters and see exactly and make sure that this is the person that you really want to spend the rest of your life with. Sometimes, especially when this happens to women, you find that women, they end up with something that cannot satisfy them. They end up with a penis that cannot satisfy them. Maybe he ejaculates after 2 seconds. You find there are many men out there have got issues. They've got issues in bed, issues that don't allow them to last long in bed. And you find that a man, you discover later after you've married the person, you discover that the person ejaculates after 2 seconds. 2 seconds, and this is called premature ejaculation. Now you find that you don't want to spend the rest of your life with such a person. So it's long time ago, things used to be a little bit different. Boys were raised to be boys, and you knew when you saw a boy or you saw a guy, you knew that he's been well groomed by the uncle, by the grandfather, by the father, well groomed, and they used to feed on organic stuff. But today, the world today as it looks, you find that there are issues. Young boys, young men, you find that they are struggling with erection, they're struggling with such bedroom issues. And then now, you find that all this is caused by the foods that they eat, lack of education, lack of knowing exactly how to arouse a woman and how to turn on a woman. Now, this is information a boy is usually supposed to get at his adolescence age. An uncle has to sit, a male figure. When a boy is growing up, there has to be a male figure training a boy how to go through puberty and how to become a man, a real man. Going to the bush, some cultures, like here in South Africa, we've got a culture whereby a boy to become a man, he has to go and circumcise on the bush, on top, in the mountains, on top of the mount, there in the mountains, and then when he comes back, then he's a man. But this goes beyond circumcision. A boy has to be sat down and lectured and told how to arouse a woman, how to get a woman satisfied, and how to make sure that a woman also, it's not a one-sided game. It's not a one-sided satisfaction. Now, boys usually don't get this education, and then they tend to think they are really matured men. And then men or wives end up stuck in marriages and for the rest of their lives. And most women are married, but they don't even know what an orgasm is. They've never reached their climax in their whole life. They don't know that thing exists. A woman, they don't know a woman ejaculates. So these are the things that you need to look out before you jump into marriage. I would advise, I think it's okay, like I said, depending on your culture and your backgrounds and so if you choose to find your partner from the church, it also depends where you meet, where you meet each other. If you find your partner in church, so that's a different story. So those are different rules that apply to people who go to church. But then now, if you find your girlfriend or you find your boyfriend in a club or in a bar, at a bar, then that's also another case. If you found whichever way you found your boyfriend in high school, wherever you found your boyfriend on the street, you're at your neighborhood, it's important that first you get the right information about the person regarding the bedroom, regarding sex. Girls, tell your boyfriends whether you're a virgin. Tell the guy why you're a virgin, why you've stayed. These are issues that usually are unspeakable. People avoid talking about these things. They don't discuss about these things. But then these things really matter a lot. So it is okay. It is okay to have sex before marriage, depending on your morals, depending on your background and your upbringings. It's very important. Also, it's got disadvantages and advantages. But there are some of the disadvantages of having sex before marriage. Could be maybe the person could be chasing you. Maybe you're a girl, and this guy has been hunting you and looking for you everywhere. Because naturally men are hunters. Now he's been hunting for you and he's been wanting you and he's been on your case. Then now, eventually, after you give in and you give him a test, if you open your legs for him, and then now he loses interest, and then so you find that maybe that such a person is not looking for settling down. He's looking for a one-night stand. He's just a hit and run. So it depends on who exactly the person is. So first look and take. So there are disadvantages of actually having sex before marriage. But then now, it's a good call actually. It's a good sign that. So you need, all in all, is you need to have first test the waters. See the person. See first, but use protection. Use protection when you go out there to have sex before marriage. Use protection before you test each other's health status, and see exactly whether you guys are healthy. Each one of you is healthy. Use protection. Use a condom. Make sure that you don't go live. First study the person and see how the person acts in the bedroom. Say if the person has the right qualities, if the person will make you happy sexually. Because sometimes you find the guy wants to have sex 10 times a week, or 3 or 4 times a day. and then now the woman, she's not into sex, she's a virgin, she's not into all that, and then you find that if these two people come together and they get married, there will always be cheating, and there will always be stuff, there will always be issues in a relationship. So basically, it's good to find out sexually what your partner is before you get married, and then you make sure that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. So now, if you want to see more of these videos, make sure that you subscribe there at the bottom, touch the bell button to receive a notification to all my awesome videos, and also make sure that you share this video to all people, friends you want to hear about this information. Share this video on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere, on Instagram. Share this information for friends to learn and know exactly whether it's good to have sex, whether it's okay to have sex before marriage. But now, make sure if you have any comment, anything, any question, any suggestion, put it there in the comment box so we can all discuss about it, and maybe I could even make videos about your ideas. Also, like this video, don't just watch and walk away. Like there at the bottom. If you don't like, touch the dislike button as well. All is fine. My name is Israel again, and I want you to keep coming back and back again for more sex videos. Bye bye.